Some things are simply made for each other. Eggs and bacon, tick. Chicken and avocado, tick. Bikes and smoothies,
Well, I said, welcome to a small business marketing show, where successful small business owners share their souls to take your marketing straight to the lead. Now, here's your host, Mr. Timbo Reid.
and welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Australia's #1 marketing show. I'm your host, Timbo Reid. You, so much more importantly, you're a motivated business owner. Yeah, you are. That's why you're here. And you are ready to crank out some great marketing in order to build that baby of yours into the empire it deserves to be. And that's pretty much what we do around here. So if you're new, strap in. It's a good ride. It's an unusual ride. If you're not new and you're back for more, good on you. Hey, big show today. Leena van Raay joins us. Bike and blend. She took some time off work and went and started a business of her own. Sort of a cubicle escapade by stealth, I would say. She blended bikes and blenders to make smoothies, and now she's having the time of her life. She will be joining us shortly. Got feedback from a listener. You ready for it? She calls me her hero. You can switch off at that point. That's okay, I'm just reading it for my benefit. No, that's not true. Partly true. But she's taken some swift marketing action, and that's what I love about her, and that's why I'm going to share it with you. And I have an in-your-face motivational marketing quote that ends in the call to action. You ready for it? Get over it. It's a ripper. Love it. Hey, today's show, lovingly brought to you by the good folk at Net Registry, who they can get your online marketing sorted. And who doesn't need a bit of that, right? You've got some exclusive listener packages over at netregistry.com.au/Timbo. Just for you. SEO packages, social media packages, get your website done for you packages. Go and have a look. And 99 Designs is also the proud bringer of this show to you. If that is such a word, bringer? I don't know. Don't think it is. Hey, they're the world's largest graphic design marketplace where designers from around the world compete to give you a design you love, guaranteed in 7 days. And you can get a free $99 upgrade to your brief over at 99designs.com/Timbo. Hey, as per usual, there is marketing GOLD dripping from the ceiling over here at Small Business Big Marketing's HQ. So let's get stuck right in.
Get on Timbo's mailing list over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.
So, today's guest, Leena van Raay. She sent me an email a while back. I sort of sat on it, only because I've got a lot of emails. I am in email overwhelm. Are you? We'll have to do an episode on that at some point. I think it's ruling our lives. A little bit too much, the old email. I digress. Leena's email to me went like this. Hey, Timbo, I like your addition of including a motivational quote at the end of each episode. Thanks, Leena. You mentioned a simple yet important quote in a recent one. It simply said, ask. Yeah, that was the motivational quote, and it's one of my favourites. So here I am, says Leena. I am asking you to consider my business and marketing journey to be shared with your motivated community. I'm the quirky bike owner. No, she says actually, I'm the quirky owner of Bike and Blend. Pedal-powered smoothies. You got to love that, eh? You've got my attention. Pedal-powered smoothies. It might seem that something so unique promotes itself, but I have certainly put a lot of effort into making my pedal-powered smoothie service a huge success. Well, I want to know what kind of effort that was, Leena. I would love to share my marketing strategies and funny stories with your community to help and inspire them. Good on you for reaching out, Leena. If you don't ask, you don't get, team. So I said, hell yeah, get on your bike, Miss Van Raay. That's exactly what I said. And I started off by asking Leena, what's her quirkiest habit?
A unique or quirky habit? I have a few of those, I guess. You know, I've cycled around many unusual countries, Myanmar and Tonga and Cambodia. I think that's an unusual thing. But
I think you're avoiding the question. That's a unique cycling journey. I want a personal, unique or quirky habit of yours.
there's something that most people wouldn't know about me, and I guess it's about sesame seeds. I have a crazy addiction to them. And so when someone's eating like a sesame seed roll or something like this and they kind of fall on the plate, I'm just like, I just have to eat them. And I have to eat them all off my plate. Like, I clean them all up, and they're just they pop and they're so good. And and when I see other people not eating them, I'm just like, I have to refrain from actually stealing it off their plate.
Wow. Leena, do you want to put aside talking about Bike and Blend and maybe just work through this very, very quirky habit? You're like one of those little birds, that kind of, I can see you around my feet as the sesame seeds fall off my roll.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is probably a silly little quirky thing.
Can we trace that? Where else does that show itself? Are there other, that's obsessive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bit of OCD.
I get a lot of calcium. Yep.
What about those snack bars, the sesame snaps? Do you just love them?
Oh, it has to be savoury. It's weird.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
I know. I'm such a sweet tooth, but
we'll let it go.
Yep.
We'll let it go. Let's talk about Bike and Blend. So you had a very interesting, stable, professional career as a medical scientist researching stroke and epilepsy before you decided to embark on this journey. What made you pull the trigger?
I had worked in medical research for about 10 years. I absolutely loved it. But being in a hospital setting, I really wanted to be in the sort of prevention area rather than curing sickness, I guess. So especially when you're in stroke, it is really devastating to watch. So I really wanted to start this business just because I had such a passion for cycling and healthy eating and healthy living as well. And it all just came sort of naturally. I was very lucky. My boss was allowed me to go part-time for a whole year. And in that time, I kind of did a few different things, sort of exploring, what I was interested in. And, I ended up working for a few different small businesses, and one was a bike engineer, and he could build me one of these blender bikes. So he did that, and I sort of took it to a market thinking this wasn't going to be the business that I would want to start, because I knew I wanted to create a business. And then, he made that possible, so it was all good.
There's a little gap there, Leena, which is you're doing all these little jobs in your year off, but you just all of a sudden had an idea about a bike with a blender that you wanted to get designed? Where'd the actual idea come from?
So I had actually seen it about 15 years ago at a festival, and basically
when you were young and free at a rock festival,
a lot younger now. When I was coming up with sort of ideas for business, I had a little book that I'd carry around, and I just sort of took this notes down on every thoughts I'd have. I wrote down, where did the blender bikes go? What happened to them? And I thought, I love those. They were great, And then I'd sort of researched online a little bit, and in developing countries, they use human devices for things, and human-powered devices. So it's very common, especially in South America, these bikes.
Yeah, right.
So that was sort of the link, I guess, where I was like, well, I think it's possible. So we got one made, and then took it to a farmer's market, and we were the busiest stand, and then the whole idea kind of blossomed from there.
You are one of these very few people that I have spoken to that have had an epiphany. Hey, was there a moment at that first farmer's market where you've just gone, hang on, there's more to life than sesame seeds?
Only we can make a sesame seed smoothie.
Now you're talking.
It was like I went to this market, very excited, and we were very busy. Everyone was very supportive. And the thing that happened there, I guess, is people wanted to ride themselves, and I just thought, oh, that's brilliant. I would be happy to cycle. It's so easy. So it's not like it's a difficult thing to do. But
so the original idea was you had a bike that you were on blending smoothies for others.
I don't know. To be honest, it was a while ago now. So from just the day one, people wanted to do it themselves. So
you can very happily say to people, get on your bike, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell me, I love epiphanies because I think they happen rarely. I think it's even more rare for people to act on them, because it's the universe saying, hey, Leena, I think it's time, mate.
this is the idea that you've been waiting for. So did you then race home and start to put in place the whole business idea?
Pretty much, yep. We went for a big hike that weekend, so it was a 3-day hike. I had lots of time to think. I guess I was very interested in learning about a business, so I actually thought, the conventional thing is to go back to uni and study entrepreneurship or small business. But I decided to just take a year off and to draw out some money from my mortgage and just thought whatever I would have spent on a uni degree, just put it into a business for 1 year. I'm good with numbers, so I can sort of figure out, what was working pretty quickly, what wasn't. And because I have the lab experience, the sort of the scientific experience, I'm very good at putting together run sheets and, planning and making everything kind of systemized.
Well, that's a gift because many don't, many, just kind of many new business owners fly by the seat of their pants, but you're systemising as you go and templating and getting everything in order, yeah?
To a degree. There was a lot of, chaos at that first year, like any other business. But
tell me about the chaos. Like, was there hair pulling? Was there screaming? Were there tantrums? Were there?
I'm sure. Oh, we had, a lot of rained out events, bikes breaking and things like this, or, things breaking, or, my little car just not fitting everything. And so that it quickly grew. We had 6 more bikes, another 6 months. And we did the first big event we did was the Royal Melbourne Show.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for overseas listeners, that's a big, how do you describe it?
It's a county fair on steroids.
On steroids, yeah, where the show bags are ridiculously expensive. That's a big gig for a new business. How did you get that?
I applied.
The old application.
Yep. I took a photo at every event, obviously, and I just sent an application. And I guess I have the attitude, and this is something you know about me, is that I'm just not afraid to ask. And this was one of those occasions. And they accepted me. It was great. And we became one of the most wholesome things at the Royal Melbourne Show. And it was just such a steep learning curve.
What do you mean more wholesome than the fairy floss and the hot jam donuts? Gosh.
You got to have them too.
You got to have them. Tell me about not being afraid to ask, because many are. Like have you just got this, you don't fear rejection? What is it?
I just like a challenge, I think. I think I fear rejection just like anyone else. I don't overthink it. I just do it. I've reached out to Breville and they, over the partnerships app, partnership kind
blenders.
Letter. And I make it really clear and simple of what I want and why it would be a good fit for them. And people say yes or no. And there's just no...
Is there someone that you would like to reach out to but are too afraid to ask?
At the moment, my dream is to be at the Australian Open next year. So we've worked with the Sydney International Open, the Sydney Tennis APR. So
why don't you just, there's a whole lot of sponsors. They have that big forecourt where all the different sponsors have their different marquees that we can all go into and do stuff. Why wouldn't you tap like ANZ or one of the big sponsors on the shoulder and offer that up as a promotional
I'm in
idea?
Conversations with the Australian Open partnership marketing team, and the problem is that you can't have food on those grounds. So we do have a solution to that because we can do other things that aren't food related.
Yeah, what?
Well, we have a few different arms of the business as well. Bike and Blend, the pedal-powered smoothies, is the main business. But we also have some bikes that generate electricity, so you can charge phones or produce electricity for lights. So,
How far would I have to cycle on a stationary one of your bikes to get 1% power on my iPhone?
Well, we call it the pedal power point for that particular one, and it's the same as the charge that you would receive when you're on the wall. So it's 1% per 1 minute of cycling.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, so you're not necessarily going to, recharge your whole phone, but enough for like 10 minutes or something would be good for a phone call.
Right, so there's no one, you have approached the Australian Open, you're not scared there. What about approaching, I had a past guest years ago, Tom Dixon from Willett Blend. He's the crazy guy who makes blenders and blends iPads and hockey pucks and things. I don't know. Might be a bit of a JV there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Righto. Well, we'll do that. We'll make that happen.
Put that on the list. Yep.
Add that to the list. So, great. You had, I was going to ask, because in startup land, Leena, they use the word runway. How much runway have you got, when you're starting the business? Meaning, how much dough have you got? You went and drew on your mortgage, yeah, to bring this to life.
I did. So I took about 20,000 out, which I probably didn't even need to do. Like,
were you shitting yourself?
No, not at all. I had a great, the part-time job that I had paid quite well, so it did allow me to live off that for 2 days a week. And I guess I didn't have a lot of living expenses as well. And a very supportive partner who was backing me up, so that helps, yeah.
So 4 years in, you are. Wrap some numbers around the business. Number of bikes, staff, events, revenue, clients, go.
Well, we've done over probably 1,000 events in that time. We do about 600 events a year. We're in Melbourne, Sydney and Adelaide. But we also work in anywhere in Australia, and we've even flown to New Zealand. So we can easily fly with our bikes. So we've designed them that way.
That sounds a bit weird. I think that means they fold up and go in a plane, as opposed to they don't actually...
in a normal bike box, so you
right.
fly with your bike.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay. How many staff?
We have 5 of us as a core team. Yeah. So there's one person in Adelaide, one person in Sydney, and 3 of us in Melbourne. We really have two in Sydney, so there's about 6 of us in the core team. And then we have about 15 casuals as well that help us for the events. So, yeah, I mean, it's very rare for us all to be together. Obviously, we're spread out in the country, but we regularly all catch up in Melbourne and Sydney at least. And, yeah, it's a great team. We have a lot of fun together.
Bet you do. I've seen some of your videos. You're all laughing, smiley, healthy individuals.
We pretty much are, yeah. It's a great workplace, and I think that's sort of just reflects our business as well. We know how to have a laugh, and
love it.
We also look after each other when we're really busy. We all chip in when it needs.
Hey, listeners, I'm chatting with Bike and Blend founder Leena van Raay. Before I ask Leena about how she markets something people don't know exists, here's a word from those who make this show happen. Support for this show comes from 99 Designs, where dozens of designers compete to deliver a fast, affordable design you'll love. Speaking of love, their big cheese, Patrick Llewellyn, recently compared 99 Designs to a dating site.
We really think of contests almost like the dating paradigm. You go to a nightclub, it's noisy, there's a lot of people to meet, you get to meet a lot of people, and if you're lucky, at the end of that process you might meet someone, right? And then you go on and have dates. And so a contest is kind of like that paradigm. You put up your proposal, lots of designers submit their ideas, and then you start to whittle down to a few of the ones that really resonate with you. And then ultimately you pick one of them, and once you pick that one designer, the chances of you going on to work with that designer to get other things designed is actually very high.
99 Designs, where love is in the air. For a free $99 upgrade on your first design, visit 99designs.com/Timbo.
Get on Timbo's mailing list over at smallbusinessbigmarketing.com.
Support for this show comes from Net Registry. Recently, I was Skyping it up with Verity Ma, their Chief Marketing Officer, when the line deteriorated. She thought it may be because she had loads of browsers open. At which point I'm like, why so many browsers?
Well, because websites appear differently on different browsers. So if I run multiple, then I can get a sense of how our websites are tracking across different browsers and customers' websites.
Net Registry, where attention to detail rules. Visit netregistry.com.au/Timbo for a website that works on, well, all browsers. Hey now, Leena, what did you find most difficult in getting this business started? You said there were a few moments along the way, but was there anything that just kind of made you go, whoa?
I think everything was around growth. So we just grew so quickly. So it was always playing catch up. So there's enough staff, enough bikes, enough vans. We have 2 vans, forgot to mention before. So it was just like always anticipating sort of what we're going to need for the next summer.
Good problem to have.
It is. Yeah, it's been great.
And being a scientist, you're good at predicting and, testing and,
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, well, that's not such a bad thing. Any biking disasters along the way? Any blenders falling off and covering your guests in banana smoothie?
No, not really. The blenders that are designed, like they don't actually, come off at the base, so that's okay. We've had a few marquees fly away. Like that's been a bit traumatic. The first year I was working down at Caulfield Racecourse, and there was this huge storm that came through. It was about 90k winds, and I could see that our marquee was about to take off, and I went to grab it. And luckily I didn't, because it would have just taken me taken it with me. And it went rolling over the race course. And luckily there was no horses.
Wow.
Or children or anyone. It would have been horrific.
Great YouTube video, though. It's like when that guy, the child in the jumping castle, although I need to be careful there. I hope that child's still with us. There is a YouTube video of a jumping castle, like flying through the air at a county fair. Hey, so you've got something that no one knows exists. No one's sitting around a boardroom table going, we should get some bikes with blenders to our next event. How are you marketing Bike and Blend?
Well, initially we created a really nice, attractive-looking bike. So when we went to events, we did a lot of farmers markets and obviously the Royal Melbourne Show. So people found out about us through those sort of avenues to begin with. And it just grew and grew. A lot of people do tell their colleagues and friends, but we have, our target customers that we'd like to work with, and we reach out to them all the time. So, we might call sort of 100 customers in a month or a week,
nice.
Depending on how busy we are. So, and we just let them know that, hey, we exist, this is what we can do. We just want to be able to help you. If it's of interest, that's great. If not, that's okay too.
I like that. Can we talk a bit more? So that bit of outbound calling, 100 calls, what'd you say, 100 calls a month-ish?
It depends. Sometimes if we have more, we have a great idea sometimes. Let's, talk to a lot of activation agencies because they're doing really fun stuff. We love working with them. So we're like, maybe there might be 20 that we're keen to work with. Other times it could be more. So
what's an activation agency?
So, when you go to a big event, that there's something engaging there. So you might go to a fun run and there's like a basketball hoop that you can throw something through and you get a prize. So there'll be usually an activation agency that would take care of the design and just all the little parts to actually make it happen. It's all about the particular brand. So the agency sort of name is never really appears there, but they're the ones that create those stands and works with.
Do you have a process for these outbound calls? Is there like how do you get past the Doberman? What do you say to kind of once you get in front of the person that you want to speak with?
We do have a process. This is something we're doing quite recently, so we're still fairly new to this. We just invite them into it, have a smoothie meeting. We just say, look, can we come by and make you guys, your whole team, a smoothie? And just have a chat about what you, wanting to do and how we can fit into that. And then they get to know us a little bit as well. So
great. What's next?
For Bike and Blend. So we're just trying to grow Sydney and Melbourne and Adelaide as much as possible. And we're looking at, expanding to other cities perhaps a bit down the track. But at the moment, I think we're pretty happy with the size that we're at. We're going to develop the pedal PowerPoint, as I mentioned, the electric bikes. So that's going to be really fun. It's like a whole new layer of everything, but it's still sort of in its infancy. We got a recent community grant to get that started, so that's all been wrapped up now, and now we can kind of develop that. So we'd love to see those sort of bikes in train stations and airports. So we'd look at a big brand sort of coming on board and making that possible as well.
Love it. Well, great idea, Leena. I wish you all the success. I look forward to seeing Bike and Blends everywhere because I do love a smoothie. And look, it's not quite lunchtime, but I hope there is someone with a little sesame roll somewhere around in the next 2 or 3 hours that you can get hold of.
Yep, great. Thanks so much, Timbo.
Thanks, Leena.
Bye.
What a lovely lady. What an inspiring lady. What a bit of a wacko. Hey, we love wacko. I say that lovingly, Leena. Hey, if you want to hit Leena up, head over to Bike N, the letter N, blend.com.au, or on Twitter. Tell her on the show, @BikeandBlend is her Twitter handle. Now, I want to share my top 3 learnings from my fireside. Yes, my tongue gets in the way sometimes, my top 3 learnings from my fireside chat with Leena of Bike and Blend. Thanks to the very good guys at 99designs.com/Timbo, who will give you a free $99 upgrade just for listening to this show. I'd head over there. I'd pause and go and write a brief and get something designed right now. Come back though. And netregistry.com.au/Timbo. They get your online marketing sorted. Now, learnings. Number 1, carry a journal around and capture ideas as you see them. Revisit those ideas once a week and implement something. That's where the whole idea for Leena's Bike and Blend came from. How many ideas would have come like that? But even if it's not for business ideas, just carry that journal for marketing ideas. You should have your marketing radar on constantly. And if you've got it on, you're going to see stuff and you'll want to capture it. So there you go. Carry a journal. Learning number 2, don't discount the wacky ideas. On the surface, bikes and blenders, it seems a little silly. But in hindsight, isn't that a wonderful thing? Hey? So sometimes we can quickly dismiss the silly stuff, but actual fact, the stilly stuff is what gets us noticed. Learning number 3, seek out big partnerships and dream big when you do. I really mean that. They can give you such massive leverage. So who can you partner up with that's going to spread your message in a turbocharged fashion to the people that you want to get it in front of? What's your big takeaway? Head over to smallbusinessbigmarketing.com, look for episode 288 in the search box, and tell me and Leena what you thought. Hey, now, speaking of listener feedback, I received some lovely feedback from listener Lindsay Marsh, and it goes like this. She says, "Hey, Timbo." Hey, Leena. No, not Leena. Lindsay. 2 L's. She says, "I have listened to nearly every single one of your episodes, starting from the very beginning, and you are my hero." Oh, I'm gushing. I'll read that again. No, wait. "I know you always tell us to go leave a comment, so today I am. I want to start by saying that this episode was absolutely incredible." She left this in a comment under the episode where I interviewed Nathan Chan from Founder Magazine. Back to Lindsay, she says, "I am a young 28-year-old entrepreneur that left the daily grind to follow my passion." You ripper, Lindsay. "As Nathan was saying, I am so motivated every single day that people actually choose to spend their hard-earned money with me." It's a great point, you know. Nathan and I spoke about this, and we do need to stop and reflect on the fact that people are giving us money in return for our product or service. You're giving me your ears and time right now, for which I am eternally grateful. Thank you. Back to Lindsay. She says, from his advice on Instagram to what 20-somethings want in their career, he was spot on. I actually got a little teary listening because I believe so much in what he was saying. Love it. If we're cracking tears, that means we have an emotional connection, Lindsay. That is a brand right there. She says, "I also wanted to say a huge thank you to you and for all that you do." Oh, come on. Thank you. I appreciate that. "When I spent months getting up my email marketing, and then you told me, stop waiting on perfection and just do it." Yeah, I did. I say that often. "I went straight home and finished and sent my first email. Well done." Action creates reaction, Lindsay. "I love listening to you on my long drives, flights and runs. You motivate me to keep going, believe in my dreams, and turn them into reality. My business is growing at a rapid pace, and I am enjoying the ride." Thanks again, Timbo. Lindsay Marsh, and here is her website, team. Go and have a look. sewtogrow.com.au, SEW, togrow.com.au. Isn't that lovely? Hey, now, team, do you want to get mentioned on this show? Like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you want your brand in front of tens of thousands of motivated business owners around the world, including Kazakhstan and Madagascar? Yeah, I've got listeners there. Well, head over to iTunes and leave me a listener review. Add a marketing question and your website, and I will read it in an upcoming episode. Promise. Brendan Burchard of the Motivation Manifesto once said, "Most fear is just bad management of our mental faculties. Get over it." How's that for a harsh quote, hey? Get over it, he says. Fair enough, though. Hey, plenty of marketing gold coming your way in the weeks and months ahead. You know, just for you, I've got 4 fireside chats lined up just this week with some very, very smart marketers. Now, if you need anything designed, head over to 99designs.com/Timbo and grab your $99 free design upgrade. You'll get lots of designers from all around the world responding to your brief, and you'll get a design you love guaranteed. Be sure to use Net Registry to get your online marketing sorted. They've got a ripper do-it-for-me website package, $79 a month, just for you, the small business big marketing listener. Head over to netregistry.com.au/Timbo to claim that. Now, please put your hands together for Mr. Daryl Misson, who nails this show's audio every time. And thank you to Lockie Doley, who's a bit of a rock star. He wrote, produced and sung everything, all the breakers and intros and stuff that you hear in the show. Pretty cool, eh? If you need a speaker for an upcoming event, then I'm all yours. Check out timreid.com.au. And if you want to surround yourself with other motivated business owners, then join us inside the Small Business Big Marketing Forum. $69 a month, 30-day money-back guarantee, nothing to lose, everything to gain, over at crankmymarketing.com. Until next week, I am Timbo Reid, always have been, always will be. May your marketing be the best marketing. Bye for now.